Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sawyer Center on SNUathletics.com. Up here in the booth is John Hale. Alongside me is my partner for the evening, Mr. Zachary Starnes. How you doing today, Zach?
Doing good, doing good. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. And another team that's doing fantastic is the Southern Nazarene Crimson Storm. They look to win its fourth straight match for the first time this season as they host the Henderson State Reddies in the second game of the back-to-back. This is the second of the two Arkadelphia schools that are making their way to Bethany in these past 2 days after a instant classic last night against the Ouachita Baptist Tigers. The SNU Crimson Storm went back and forth with Ouachita the whole way, ended up pulling out a 5-set victory off the kill of Bailey Terang. It was a night for the youngsters with Bailey Terang, Megan Ellis, and Kayla Thomas putting in fantastic numbers, but we're not going to dwell on the past for too long. We're going to talk about today's game against the Henderson State Reddies, and the Reddies are coming off a 3-0 sweep over Jarvis Christian, but have lost 3 previous matches before that. They are 2-2 over their last 4 GAC contests, and they've had a little bit of trouble in the Sawyer Center, Zach.
Yeah, they have. It's Southern Nazarene is 5-1 all time against Henderson State, with only one loss coming in Arkadelphia last year in the regular season. Just like last night's opponent, though, the Crimson Storm got the last say in the Great American Conference Championship quarterfinals with the 3-0 sweep. The Reddies have never won inside the Sawyer Center.
They have never won, neither did Ouachita, and that is still the same. SNU looks to keep that statistic, the same staying perfect against the Arkadelphia schools in their home court. Henderson State and Southern Nazarene come into tonight's match ranked 3rd and 4th in the GAC Conference, the GAC Great American Conference in assists per set. The Reddies average 12.23 assists per set, while the Storm average 11.92. The two schools are also 3rd and 4th in kills. Henderson State averages 13.05 per set, while SNU averages 12.3. Zach, we got a lot of impressive stats going on with some Crimson Storm players, don't we?
Yeah, we do. The Crimson Storm are also 2nd in the GAC in aces at 1.57 per set and have 99 total. SNU has 2 of the top 3 in the conference in aces per set, with Megan Ellis leading the way with 0.45 per set, while Elise Berlin is 3rd at 0.40. Those two have combined for 53 of the team's aces. Bailey Terang leads the GAC in kills per set at 3.92 and has 243 total. She'll also lead the conference in points per set at 4.33 and has 268.5 total. With 33 more assists, Elise Berlin can move into a tie for 4th place of all time in school history. She currently has 2,428 in her career and trails Crystal Mell during the 1998 to 2001 seasons. She also needs 33 more digs to move into 6th place with Cindy Alba, 2001 to 2004. She has 1,225 career digs. That's a lot.
That is a ton, and she's been on this SNU volleyball squad for, I believe, the entirety of her college career, and that illustrious career is going to come to an end at the end of this season. But we have no doubt in our minds that she will, in fact, get to those marks before her time is done here in Bethany. Since joining Division II, the Crimson Storm are 47-17 inside the Sawyer Center, and SNU this year is 500 at home, going 4-4 so far, trying to move into a winning record inside the Sawyer Center. This place is definitely tough to play when it is at full force. Looking at the GAC, the SNU and Ouachita were the only GAC contest going on last night, but tonight everybody's in action. Looking at the GAC conference standings, they are led by Arkansas Tech, who is ranked number 18 in the country with 18 wins, 0 losses, and a perfect 5-0 GAC record. Behind them, 3 teams tied for second, one of them being the Crimson Storm, the other 2 being the Harding Bisons and the Oklahoma Baptist Bison. That is SNU's only loss so far this year in conferences against OBU. Behind them at 3-1 is Northwestern Oklahoma State, and Southwestern Oklahoma State checks in at 3-2. Checking on the bottom half of the conference is SNU's opponent from last night, Ouachita Baptist, at 3-3 so far in conference. Behind them, tonight's opponent, Henderson State, at 2-3. bottom cellar dwellers this year. Arkansas Monticello at 1-4, and Southeastern Oklahoma State at 1-4. And just looking for a win, Southern Arkansas and East Central both check in at winless 0-5 conference records. But Zach, what are the other games in the GAC? Everybody's playing tonight.
Yeah, it looks like we got Southern Arkansas at Southwestern OSU at 6. So they're probably in that right now. Harding and Southeastern OSU. Got Arkansas Tech at East Central. Got Ouachita at Oklahoma Baptist. Arkansas Monticello at Northwestern OSU.
Well, it's going to be a busy day, and actually SNU is actually going to start their match a full hour before anybody else in the GAC starts. But this SNU is in control of their own destiny mode. As long as they will keep winning, they will stay on top of the GAC conference. But they got tough matches ahead. Looking forward into this season. Tonight they got Henderson State, and on Wednesday of all days, I believe it's the only Wednesday game on the schedule. They will play Northwestern Oklahoma State inside the Sawyer Center to wrap up this 4-game homestand here in the Sawyer Center. And then they go on a road trip into neighboring Arkansas as they take on Monticello, Southern Arkansas, and Arkansas Fort Smith, a non-conference opponent, for all of next week, all of the week after, before coming back to play the two top teams in the conference other than themselves. Arkansas Tech plays here on the 20th, so SNU will be circling that date, as long as Harding, and they play those two teams back-to-back, so that is a tall order for SNU, but that is something that they will have to tackle in the coming weeks, followed by a trip down to Lawton to play Cameron, and going up against Northwestern Oklahoma State in Alva, before returning home on Halloween night to play East Central and hopefully spook the Tigers before they come into the final month of the season, the month of November, playing Southeastern in Durant, going against their final non-conference opponent, Dallas Baptist, the Division I opponent in Dallas, before wrapping up their home schedule against Southwestern Oklahoma State on the 7th of November, and then their final match of the season against their arch rivals, the Oklahoma Baptist Bison, before hopefully gaining that coveted 8th seed or better to get into the GAC Conference Championship November 16th through the 18th. But tonight it's all about Henderson State. We're about 6.5 minutes away from first serve. Stay right here on SNUathletics.com. We're about to get started. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. We are almost ready for the first serve between the Reddies and the Crimson Storm. But before we do that, we're going to go to our starting lineups for the evening, starting with the Henderson State Reddies. Take it away, Mr. Zach.
Well, for Henderson State, we have a 6'2" sophomore, Adriana Hartman, number 4. We have a 5'11" sophomore, number 7, Camera Jackson. We have a 6-foot-tall senior, Violet Williams. She's number 8. Number 10, Soraya Boney, 5'3" sophomore. Courtney Balf, she's a 5'11" sophomore, number 11. Carly Green, sophomore, 6'3", number 15. And the last, Sydney Skelton, number 14, 5'9", senior.
And for the Southern Nazarene Crimson Storm, your starting lines begin with McKenna Hunter, number 3, a 5'11" junior out of Keller, Texas. A 5'8" sophomore out of Corona, California, number 6, Bailey Terang. A 5'8" freshman out of Hereford, Texas, number 8, Megan Ellis. A 5'10" sophomore out of Wichita, Kansas, number 13, Michaela Pfaff. At a 5'10" sophomore from Deer Park, Texas, Kylie Smith. A 5'11" freshman from New Braunfels, Texas, number 18, Kayla Thomas. And at the libero position for today, a 5'8" senior out of Red Oak, Texas, number 1, Elise Berlin. The head coach for the Crimson Storm is Kevin Ingram. The head coach for the Reddies is Philip McDaniel. And we are starting, ready for the first set. It's going to be Bailey Terang. It's going to start off with a big windup and a big serve. We are off and running in the Sawyer Center. It's going to be Smith giving it to, I believe that was Pfaff, who hits it out. Pfaff put down the attack, and that was number 8. Violet Williams trying to get there, but it goes beyond the antenna. Point Crimson Storm, the first point of the match. Crimson Storm wearing all white with Elise Berlin in the black jersey at the libero position. Henderson State in all red, with the exception of libero wearing gray. A quick attack by Hunter. That was a
little miscommunication there.
Smith tried to hit that one back to her setters at the net, but it just went the wrong direction. We're tied up at 1 early in the first set. And that's a bad dig by Ellis. Henderson State takes their first lead. Now, Zach, last night was an emotional game for the Crimson Storm, so it'll be interesting to see if maybe SMU may be beyond or out of juice. And so far, Henderson State's taking advantage of it after a lift by the Crimson Storm.
Yeah, that was I heard it was an emotional roller coaster last night, but came out victorious.
Smith, Hunter on the floor. Hunter gets her first kill of the night. Brings it back within 1. She'll check out for Kayla Thomas coming back in. Berlin back to serve. She is one of the best in the conference in aces per set. See if she can grab one here. But not this time. She gets a dig, though. That one flies out. We're tied back up at 3.
There we go.
Berlin trying to find her first ace. And the 100th ace of the year for the Crimson Storm. Not that time, though. Smith is going to give it to Ellis. And it's blocked at the net. Point Reddies. It's number 15, Carly Green to serve. Thomas gives a little tap. It's able to be dug up. Point Crimson Storm. It's going to be a double touch. I believe that was against number 15, Carly Green, trying to snipe the corner. Just didn't get enough depth on it and hit it just one too many times. Pfaff to serve now. Deflected, and Berlin's not able to get there, as number 7, Camera Jackson, is showing that the Reddies will work through her offensively.
She had some power on that attack.
Crimson Storm exploring a whole lot of their options after senior Michaela Benner is unable to participate for the majority of this year, if at all. Smith is going to look to Ellis. At that time she is blocked at the net or just kind of able to get it over. It doesn't matter. Crimson Storm tie it back up at 5. But the Crimson Storm working through their options as Ellis, Terang, Hunter, and Thomas all putting up big offensive numbers. Ellis back to serve. It's dug up and be able to be corralled, put back by Bailey Terang, who finds the line. Bailey Terang with a kill. Great effort by the Crimson Storm to able to corral a very difficult attack.
Yeah, she's been known to do that.
Ellis still serving. Free ball for the Crimson Storm. Berlin to Terang again. It's dug up. Here come the Reddies. Jackson is going to get a kill to her credit as 2 Crimson Storm players unable to dig it up. Ellis to Smith to Thomas, gets a little tap. And that could have been an easy point for Terang. She's coming back with a vengeance. And it's blocked at the net. Point Reddies. They were all over it. Bailey Terang knowing she missed an opportunity there.
Yeah, that was a good one. It was a good one. They dug it up.
Ellis back to Smith. Davis is just going to have to give this one back to the Reddies for a free ball. Jackson, or excuse me, that is not Jackson. That is number 11, Courtney Bolf.
Back to him.
Bolf again, and she'll get a kill. Finally getting some separation between these two teams as Henderson State takes a 2-point lead. Davis to Smith to Thomas, and it's dug up. Free ball here. Smith back to Terang. It's able to be brought up by the libero. Terang's able to get back under there for a dig, and Smith trying to push it over. And it flies out on an attack by Bolf. Thomas to serve now. And that was a fine-tuned play for the Reddies. Finished off by a kill by number 4, Adriana Hartman, who immediately checks out. Ellis to Smith to Terang. Blocked to the net and corralled again. Terang coming back at him. Bolf going to push this one over. Hunter to Smith to Terang on the court. Bailey Terang gets another one.
They couldn't get to that one, could they, John?
Nope.
Brings them within a 1-point deficit.
Smith to serve now. That one flies out. That play was set up by number 17, Abby Blackburn, out of Leawood, Kansas. 5'9" freshman. They're just going to have to push this one over. Free ball. Hunter. It's going to go back to her. She wasn't quite in position for it. Almost got the kill, but not quite. Blocked at the net is Pfaff. And the Reddies are putting up a stone wall at the top of that net as
they are.
SNU unable to quite get it past the hands of the Reddies. It's going to be Soraya Boney. Hunter almost got that one, but they're just going to give it back to the libero, push it back into play. Terang off the deflection. Terang with another kill. She's up to 3 so far. we come back to the top of the order in terms of serving. Terang's going to serve again. Ellis to Smith. Pfaff going to get the point off the deflection, got the kill. Just trying to get it over. Went the wrong way off the hands of the Henderson State blockers. SNU regains the lead, if only by a point.
Nah.
And that's way too easy. That's McKenna Hunter right there at the net.
It looks like that Henderson State set them up that time.
Yeah, McKenna Hunter will take that all day long. It's just too easy of a play for her. She's been playing with SNU for 3 years now. SNU going to get an effort play. Terang dug up. And that time it's going to be number 15, Carly Green, able to get another kill down. That's her first kill. Up to Smith, to Ellis, who just gets the tip. It flies out of bounds. Tied up at 12. Now it's all a matter of who's going to get the most amount of separation. At that time, very similar to the point that McKenna Hunter got for herself, as Green just gives it a little love tap over the net.
A little too much.
Smith setting up Ellis. The Reddy's going to get this one over. No, they will not. Just a bad set on the far side of the court. A tough play for any volleyball player, but just too far into the net, goes straight into the net. It's tied up again at lucky 13. It's going to be Berlin to serve now. And she'll get the dig. Smith. That's Pfaff who sends it out of bounds. Henderson regains the lead as now these teams are starting to go back and forth, similar to last night's game. They're going to get, that will be credited as an ace to Green, putting forth the most offensive output today for the Reddies.
That she has.
Smith setting up Thomas, and that ball actually hit the referee, and he had to take a minute to regain himself, but he's like, yeah, if you get to hit me, you're in bounds.
Yeah.
Kayla Thomas records her first kill of the night. Berlin with another dig. Smith gives it to Ellis. It's blocked at the net. Smith just going to push it over and give it to Henderson. A little bit of a delay on the call, but Henderson State is going to get the point after it hits the floor. It's going to be Abby Blackburn to serve now. Berlin digs it up, gives it to Thomas. A little bit too easy to be corralled. Berlin gets another one. That's blocked. And that fired up the Reddies. They now take a 3-point lead, up 14-17. And Kevin Ingram is going to take a timeout, talk to his team, and we'll step aside as well. Keep it right here on SNUathletics.com. We'll have the end of the first set when we come back. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Crimson Storm find themselves down by 3 points in the first set as Thomas is going to fly out and now make it a 4-point deficit for the Crimson Storm. Henderson State, pretty good position to start out against a team tied for second in the GAC. Davis to Smith to Ellis, who is able to get it over. Free ball for the Crimson Storm. Thomas on the court. Kayla Thomas able to easily put down another kill.
Put it right in between the two defenders.
Thomas had 21 kills last night.
She was on fire.
Not much Washita could do to stop her. Just trying to get that one over. It's going to be Terang from mid-distance. That one finds the court. I believe that was number 7, Cameron Jackson. Still a 4-point lead for the Reddies. Smith, Terang. They're just going to give this one over. Free ball. Terang again. Off the hands. Just went a little bit too high off the blockers for Sydney Skelton to handle it.
Well, Terang can get way up there in the air, can't she?
Oh, she can jump out of the gym for being only 5'8". Big time dig by Ellis. Terang again flies out. First team to get to 20 is the Reddies. It's going to be Terang again. Blocked at the net. Smith. Hunter this time. They're able to get to her as well. Davis to Smith to Terang. It's on the court. Billy Terang cuts it to 3, and it's going to be Smith to serve. Crimson Storm having a little bit of trouble putting runs together this year. And an initial block on the net by Hunter and Terang goes the wrong way. 4 points down are the Crimson Storm, and 4 points away from a first set victory is the Reddies. Crimson Storm have made a habit this past week of going to at least 4 sets. I don't know if that will be the case today, but Bailey Terang says still playing volleyball in the first set right now as she lays down another kill.
Oh, yeah. They haven't given up, that's for sure.
Terang into the net. And we'll be back to serve Courtney Bolf. Bolf sends it to Terang, to Smith, who sets up Ellis. And it's flying.
They got to push it over.
Terang, or excuse me, that was Berlin who just tried to dig it up, and it just went way too far. Henderson State in a great position right now, up 5 with the bottle point against the Crimson Storm. And how Crimson Storm will respond, we'll find out after the break when we come back to SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Bolf still serving. Ellis the dig to Smith. Back to Ellis. Hits the antenna, and now it's set point for the Reddies. Flies out of bounds. Crimson Storm are still alive, at least for one more serve. And it'll be Berlin. Able to set up potentially a set-winning play. It's dug up by Berlin. Ellis going to try and get something going from outside. Can't do it. Another big dig. Smith flies out of bounds, and that's how the set will end. The Henderson State Reddies take set one over the Crimson Storm by a score of 25-19. That's how set one will end. The Crimson Storm, if they want to win this one, they're going to have to go to at least 4 sets one more time.
Oh, yeah, they're going to have to show something different in the second one for sure.
I mean, it can be explained maybe due to some fatigue hanging over from last night's big game, but SNU going to have to try and shake it off. Leading that set was Bailey Terang, hitting 26% on 6 kills, with Pfaff, Thomas, and Hunter also checking in with 2 kills, and Ellis added 1 of her own. On the other side for Henderson State, 3 kills for Jackson, 2 for Hartman, and 2 for Green. But it's all about the blocks in this one, as Henderson is beating SNU 4-0 in that category. When we come back, we'll have set 2 here on SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Crimson Storm fall to the Reddies in the first set, 25-19. So the Reddies will serve first as they switch sides of the court. Terang. And we're firing right back. Smith trying to snipe the corner, but it's dug up. Trying to lay down the first point and getting the first point is Bolf, who will score the first point of the second set. And a bad dig by Hannah Davis catches Thomas out of position, and everybody else, Henderson State takes a 2-0 lead to start the second set. Serving is Soraya Boney. Smith, Thomas on the court. First point for the Storm. And it goes to Thomas. Thomas will now serve. Trying to snipe is Henderson. Back to Terang. It'll be dug up by the libero, Skelton. It's going back to Smith. Hunter on the court. Hunter gets another kill. Skelton putting in some big digging numbers for the Crimson Storm. Or excuse me, for the Reddies. Thomas still back to serve as the Crimson Storm tie it up at 2 apiece. Almost got a violation there. Terang's gonna have to be careful. As a quick attack by Smith. It's nothing doing. Dug up by Terang to Smith. Back to Terang. Dug up at the net. We're still going. Terang again. On a double touch violation by the Crimson Storm, Henderson State will get that point after what seemed like it would be a rally that went on for a while.
Right. It sure did.
Smith back to Hunter. And McKenna Hunter may be the most underrated attacker on this Crimson Storm team. She doesn't get all the numbers, but she is very, very efficient when she does. And we're back to it. Mid-range attack by the Reddies. Smith. Davis from mid-range from the 10-point line. 10-foot line, excuse me. Terang gets another kill, and SMU regains the lead at 4-3 in the second set.
Well, they don't want to set up Bailey Terang, do they? The other
well,
team?
SMU does enough of setting up Bailey Terang, so I imagine Henderson State wants to cut down in that category.
Right. Try to keep it away from her.
Ellis to Smith. Back to Terang. Off the hands. Able to be corralled and hit over Berlin. Back to Smith. Hunter. No, it got to Davis, who faked everybody out, including me, but hits it out of bounds. Tied back up at 4. As the libero checks out for the Reddies. Smith sets up Hunter, who once again, McKenna Hunter, when she gets those opportunities, she makes the most of them.
She does.
Hunter is now hitting 50% on 4 kills. Now it's Terang back to serve. Berlin gets it to Smith. Davis off the hands. Another point for the Crimson Storm. They now have a little bit of a cushion now. Not much, but just a little bit.
Maybe enough to give them some motivation to keep on going, John. Hopefully they'll.
Terang. Now the Crimson Storm showing some defense as well. Ellis from outside. Berlin able to dig it up. Hunter again. Didn't quite get all of that attack, so it's able to be brought back up by the Reddies. And the referee quickly calls an antenna call by the Reddies. Point Crimson Storm. They now have their first 3-point lead of the day. Terang still serving, taps the net, but goes on over. Smith just kind of dumps it and finally finds it. Been watching her all season. She hasn't been able to find that little dump move, but she finally finds it. SNU is now 4 points ahead of the Reddies in the second set. And now Coach McDaniel is going to take a timeout to chat to his team. Don't go anywhere. We're still playing volleyball here in the Sawyer Center here on SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Bailey Terang still serving. Henderson State now able to get something going. SNU able to dig it up. Great effort. Blocked at the net, out of bounds. Point Reddies.
They built the wall for that one, but it just went the wrong way, didn't it?
Yep. Coming back is SNU, gives it to Ellis, just kind of gives the dump and able to get the point off the unexpected just tap. So Berlin back to serve. No aces so far for the Crimson Storm yet. They aren't going to get it on this serve either. Smith is going to give it to Ellis, and a point for the Reddies again on another double touch by the Crimson Storm. I believe that's 3 double touch violations already for the Crimson Storm. Back to serve for the Reddies is Delaney Price, number 12. Davis gives it to Smith. Thomas tapped up. Skelton's going to be able to give it to Bolf, and she goes straight into the net. Crimson Storm are maintaining a steady 4-point lead over the Reddies in the second set. Up 10-6 now.
Nice little cushion to have.
Hannah Davis now serving. Skelton is going to set up Bolf out of bounds now. Double whammy as it landed out of bounds, and the other side caught the antenna. Davis will continue to serve, now up 5. Smith able to get a dig up. Free ball now for the Reddies. Skelton's going to set up Bolf. That's dug up by Berlin. Smith back to Ellis. Off the hands. We got a rally going now. Bolf. Hannah Davis can't hang on to it. And the Reddies get a point with Skelton back to serve now. Another off-speed attack by Ellis. Dug up by Davis. Smith. Ellis again. Off the hands and onto the court. Megan Ellis gets another kill. Megan Ellis now is the server. SNU able to dig it up. Smith's going to give it back to Terang. Dug up by Skelton. Back to Bolf. Blocked at the net and out of bounds. It's going to be number 10, Boney, to serve. She's going to set up Bailey Terang off the deflection. Point, Crimson Storm. Bailey Terang starting to wake up in the second set as Hunter's going to check back in and take out Berlin. Thomas now serving.
Bailey Terang just brings that heat every time, doesn't she?
Indeed, every time. Free ball now for the Crimson Storm. Hunter got the off speed. Looks like she was winding up, but then decided just to tap it. Point Crimson Storm. They now have the biggest lead so far for the Crimson Storm at 6. One more point, it'll officially be the largest lead of the match. But Henderson State says not today as Smith tried to snipe it. But SNU is going to get the point anyway on a two-touch violation. Now it is the largest lead by either team in this match at 7 points. Thomas still serving. Bolf digs it up and gives it right back to her from mid-range. Smith sets up Terang. Skelton able to get it up just enough, but it confused number 10, Boney, who is right under the basketball goal. And she couldn't quite handle it on the third touch for the Reddies, so the Crimson Storm now running away with the second set. They're up 16-8.
They have woke up, haven't they?
Yep. SNU usually takes a set to wake up, so Kevin Ingram's going to chat with his team, and McDaniels calls the timeout to talk to his. We'll be right back on SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. We're off and running again of the Crimson Storm. Big lead right now, but it's going to be cut into by Henderson State. That was Courtney Bolf with the Soraya Boney assist. Lead is back to 7. Terang is going to be met at the net and able to be brought back up. Ball sends it back over. Free ball, SNU. Terang just mishandled it.
I don't know if she knew how far away she was from the net right there. Looked like she tried to tap it over, but
Hunter tried to get another powerful kill. Instead, she's trying to get the block, and she's going to be able to get it as Henderson State took their 3 touches and they couldn't quite hang on to it. She tried to get the kill but followed it up with a block. Smith now the server. Davis gets the dig to Hunter. Skelton able to dig it up. Ball sends it back. Berlin to Davis, gets a little tap, and Skelton's all over the court. Ellis, Smith, Terang, off the deflection, point Crimson Storm.
And that's how they usually do it. That's how I've seen them do it. When they get it over there in the corner to Terang, it's coming in hot.
Well, it's no secret that it's no secret to anybody else in the GAC who SNU wants to work through. It's obviously Bailey Terang.
Right.
The bad part is, for the most part, not many teams can stop that combo. Green now to serve after Henderson State records another one. Bite into this lead back to 7. Berlin gives it to Smith, and it's Terang up the middle this time, who grabs another one. That's Bailey Terang's, waiting for the updated stats. So far, I believe that's her 14th. That's her 14th point, her 14th kill. That time she goes straight into the net. She wishes she had that one back. Abby Blackburn checks in to take the serving responsibilities for the Reddies. Ellis. Davis trying to get a long-range attack going. Smith, the dig. Davis again. And here comes the Reddies, able to get it up, and they do. Crimson Storm able to get some effort points right there and get it up, but it's mishandled by Berlin.
Well, that was amazing. They even got that one over, though.
Blackburn still serving. Ellis, Smith, Hunter. It's going to go out of the reach after Skelton's dig. It's going to go out of the reach of Jackson, who can't get around that referee stand.
Back to a 7-point lead, 2013, SNU.
SNU was in a situation similar to this in the first set of last night's game, but they ended up blowing that lead, giving the first set to Washita. So they're going to have to buckle down and finish this one as fast as they can, as Hannah Davis's attack flies out of bounds. It's going to be Delaney Price with the serve. Berlin back to Smith. Davis blocked at the net and no one's home. Point Henderson State, and now they're trying to make a rally. Timeout taken by Coach Kevin Ingram.
They're trying to come back, aren't they?
Well, they
brought it from what, to 8 to 5?
Washita came back whenever SNU was up 20-14 last night, ended up winning that match 25-22. So Kevin Ingram saw that that was a pattern and wanted to nip that one in the bud. We're taking another break. We'll have the rest of the second set when we come back to SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Henderson State trying to mount a rally. They're only 5 points down from the Crimson Storm in the second set. Ellis from far away. It's going to be Balf, and it flies out of bounds. Point Crimson Storm. Balf had a big attack going, but it just couldn't find the inside line. Hannah Davis back to serve now. Blocked at the net, out of bounds, point Henderson. That one will be rewarded, I believe, to number 9, Zuzana Andruskova. Smith to Thomas. There's not much you can do about that one. Thomas gets the deflection. Megan Ellis back to serve now. Crimson Storm trying to finish this set. That one's off the hand, says the referee. Deflection. Point to the Reddies as number 5 checks in. That is Destiny Haynes. Destiny Haynes checks in as Boney goes back to serve. Smith is going to give it to Trang. Skelton's right there ready for it. Balf is going to fly out of bounds. Crimson Storm gets to the bottle point of 23. Kayla Thomas back to serve now. One of the more consistent servers for the Crimson Storm. She puts longer streaks together. They're going to work through Balf again. It's blocked at the net and on the floor. Big block by the Crimson Storm. It is set point now.
Yep, they win this one, will tie up the set. It's 1-1. Isn't this how last night began?
This is very similar to how last night went. Callie Smith can't quite get under that one. 24-18 is now the score. SNU trying to win set 2. Davis to Smith to Terang, blocked out of bounds. Crimson Storm win the second set and tie it up 1-1 as they win this set won by a 1 point better deficit, 1 point better lead than Henderson won the first set. Updated stats up to this point. Bolf leads the Reddies with 6 kills. Green right behind her with 5. Jackson with 4 and Hartman with 3. Andrushkova with 2 and Skelton with 1. Skelton has 22 digs. She has been all over the court in these first 2 sets. Boney has 9 assists and is only trumped by Blackburn, who has 10. Hitting the best for the Reddies is Hartman and Skelton, each hitting 500%. Green's hitting 36%. On the other side for the Crimson Storm, Berlin has 14 digs, 27 assists. No aces quite yet, as SNU looking for a lucky 100. Hitting 46% is McKenna Hunter with 6 kills, but Terang has by far the most kills tonight with 14 kills, making up 14.5 of her points. So a lot of the offense working through Bailey Terang, but that's no surprise. We'll take a short break. When we come back, set 3 on SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Crimson Storm are now in familiar territory as they have opened up every single game in this winning streak so far by going 1-0, losing the first set and then hitting the next. And there's that set. That's their ace 100 right there, as Megan Ellis finally records her first ace of the day. First ace for the Crimson Storm. That's 100 on the year. Megan Ellis gets point number 1 in set 3. The Crimson Storm once again are in familiar territory as losing the first set, winning the second set into set 3, where they are performed reasonably well. That one flies out of bounds off the hand of number 7, Cameron Jackson. Megan Ellis still serving as SMU takes a 2-0 advantage. And that's just all too easy. That's Bailey Terang getting another kill. That's 15 for her. Just got a little bit too close to the net. Bailey Terang just puts it down, no problem. Megan Ellis getting kind of comfortable back there at the serving line. Excuse me.
Yeah, she is. She's
off the hands of Balf. SNU takes a 4-0 lead. Looking for 5 in a row. And into the net. Her teammates telling her great job as SNU builds a quick 4-1 lead. Price back to serve now. Dug up by Berlin to Smith to Thomas. It's blocked in the net. SNU gets another opportunity with Berlin. Or excuse me, that was Terang, set up by Berlin and Smith. Terang records another one, number 16. Thomas still serving. And that one is going to be credited to number 15, Carly Green, who finally gets another kill. Trying to stop the bleeding in this third set. Berlin back to Smith to Terang. Flies out of bounds. One of the few attacks of hers that is not deflected.
Right.
Davis
to
Smith.
Few.
Hunter able to be dug up, and now some miscommunication. They're just going to have to give it back. Ellis gives it to Smith, who tries to snipe him in the middle, and she does.
It works again. I think that's her second one of the game.
That's her second little dump. Dump right there in the middle of the court. She's back to serve now. Berlin gets a good effort, but not enough to get the point down, or to get the point back. Hartman gets another kill. Blackburn now to serve. Terang to Smith, back to Terang, right there in the middle. Skelton's going to set up another attack. Blocked at the net by Terang and Hunter. Off the attack by number 9, Zuzana Andronowski, or excuse me, Andruskova, excuse me.
That's interesting. I saw where she was from. Did you see that?
I did not, Zach.
She's from, she is from Belovec, Czech Republic, Maryland Eastern Shore.
She hails from the Czech Republic.
That's
Exchange
right.
student and a transfer from Maryland Eastern Shore University. That one is let go by the Crimson Storm, and it's an ace for the Reddies, as the Reddies are now within 1 point of the Crimson Storm. Berlin to Smith. Ellis. Skelton's able to get another dig. Jackson, the attack. Back to Smith. Hunter. That one's dug up by Balf. Jackson again. Dug up by Berlin. Double touch by the Crimson Storm. We're tied up at 7 apiece.
They've climbed their way back to tie the game up.
Terang sets up Davis. Just kind of taps it over. And another lead taken by the Reddies, as that's number 4, Hartman. Hartman gives the lead back to the Reddies, up 7-8. But Hunter ties it right back up with another kill. She'll get checked out for Thomas. That is Hunter's 7th kill on the night. Now it's Berlin to serve. Jackson's going to give this one right back. Smith setting up Davis. They're finally going to get the kill after a 4-touch rule. Berlin still serving as SMU retook the lead. Blocked at the net and on the line. Blocked by the Reddies, but found
Right
that far line.
They thought that one was going out. It didn't.
Berlin still back. Now SMU has a 2-point lead. Setting up Jackson. Met at the net on the Henderson side. SMU gets a free ball. Thomas deflected. Skelton's going to give it right back. Smith sets up Ellis. Now we got a long rally. Jackson back to Terang. Smith in the middle. No can do. Davis. Free ball for the Reddies if they can just get it up. Jackson dug up. Berlin. Another opportunity. Davis gives it back. Free ball for the Reddies. Jackson. Back to Smith. Berlin. Ellis. Blocked at the net. And that one was disheartening for the Crimson Storm as Berlin showed some signs of frustration there. 10-9 now, the score. SNU up on the Reddies by a score 10-9 in the third set. Ellis tries to tap it over, but Jackson's right there. And another fierce attack from Andruskova.
Well, they're keeping it close. Tied up.
10s all around here in the third set. Smith sets up Ellis. She gets the dig back to Berlin, to Davis. Off the deflection and on the corner. Hannah Davis. SNU trying to put Henderson State away. Henderson State just trying to hang around. Berlin just gives it to Smith, tries to catch him off guard, nothing doing. Ball at the net, and it's blocked. Davis is going to check out for Pfaff. Going to set up Andruskova there. Smith trying to catch him off guard once again on the line. Target by Jackson. And we're still going. After Henderson couldn't quite put it away, Henderson State's got an opportunity with Andruskova again. Dug up by Terang. To Smith. To Thomas. And she's going to get the point. Now SNU starting to build a lead, up 3.
That was the time to do it.
Pfaff into the net. Point Henderson. Coming in now is number 5. Is number 5 Destiny Haynes and number 10 Soraya Boney. Berlin to Smith to Thomas. And no one's home for the Reddies after Balf's dig. Ellis back to serve now. That's way too easy. That is Kylie Smith. As the ball just went on the side of the Crimson Storm just a little bit too much after the dig by Henderson. Puts it right back on the ground.
Kylie Smith's been a huge part of this SNU offense too.
Reigning setter of the week in the GAC. As the block attempt by Thomas and Terang is deflected out of bounds. Henderson just trying to stick around in this third set. The team that just won't go away.
They're not wanting to go anywhere, are they?
Smith sets up Terang. Blocked at the net. Henderson State has cut it to a 2-point game again. Davis gives it to Smith, to Thomas. Ellis able to get back to it. Now Smith trying to just get it where they're not, and she finally does. After a bad dig, puts it in between two Henderson State players, and they couldn't decide what to do with it. Thomas back to serve now. It's Balf who lets it fly way out. Balf has been rather quiet recently. She started off really strong, recording 6 kills, but now she's hitting under -7%. That time it is a kill for the Reddies. Number 15, Carly Green, is able to get up there. Carly Green is 6'3". She is 2 inches taller than the tallest player on the Crimson Storm roster. Terang gets it on the floor. Bailey Terang records another one. That is 17 kills tonight for Bailey Terang. Reigning Offensive Player of the Week in the GAC. And a big-time effort. A big-time effort, but they're going to call it on the ground. Berlin, and I believe that was Hunter who got on the floor. Tried to save it, and it looks like initially they did, but the referee called it otherwise.
Seemed like a late call, didn't it?
Oh, very late. Berlin showing her dislike for the last call by making sure there's no doubt in anybody's mind that she gets the kill. She's up to 18 now. She may even get to 20 before the third set is even over, which would be an absolute amazing stat. Off the deflection of Ellis and Hunter, Henderson State will record another one. Brings in Cameron Jackson for the Reddies. Balf to serve. Dug up by Berlin to Smith, and a bad set by Smith to Hunter.
You don't see that very often.
You really don't. Kylie Smith, usually so precise in her sets, but can't quite get it that time. That's going to be an ace for Balf, who's brought the Henderson Reddies within one. Timeout by Kevin Ingram, who doesn't want this one to get out of SNU's hands. We'll take a break. Very highly contested third set in the Sawyer Center here on SNUathletics.com. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. A service error by Balf keeps the Crimson Storm ahead for the time being, as they reach 20 for the first. They reach 20 first in the third set. At least Berlin back to serve now. Jackson sends it over. SNU's just going to have to give this one to Henderson on a free ball. Jackson. It's still going. Nope. Initially, I didn't hear a whistle, but The referee's going to call it down for a kill. It's going to be Skelton, the libero.
Very close game. Very close set.
Smith to Thomas. Off the hands of the Reddies. Pfaff coming back in. And she goes to serve. But it's going to be number 15, Carly Green, who's going to keep Henderson in the game. Hayes returns to the floor. It's going to be Boney back to serve. Davis to Smith to Thomas. Just tried to tip it over, nothing doing. Blocked at the net. Now SNU has an opportunity for a big one. Smith tried to snipe it in the middle, nothing doing. Jackson gives it to Ellis to Smith. Ellis just gives it over. And now I'm not sure what's going on. A lot of miscommunication out there. SNU can reset. Thomas, nothing doing. A double touch violation on the Crimson Storm, and we're tied at 21. First 1-4 now in the third set. SNU hasn't lost the third set in their 3-game winning streak so far. Smith, Thomas, no one's getting to that one as they retake the lead, 22-21. Megan Ellis now to serve. Second in the GAC in aces per set. She has one. Excuse me, she has two. Berlin able to get that one over. It's blocked at the net by Terang. Terang gets to the bottle point at 23. Timeout taken by Coach McDaniels.
He's not wanting to lose this set.
Bailey Terang up to 17 kills. So math dictates that unless Henderson gets up to 23, and even more so, she won't get to 20 in this set, but she is well on her way to getting 20-plus kills in this match. Behind her with 8 kills is Thomas, 7 kills is Hunter. Terang's hitting 32%. In fact, all of SNU is hitting reasonable percentages, with the exception of Megan Ellis, who's hitting -8%. On the other side, it's not such a pretty picture for the Reddies, with 2 players hitting below negative. Bolf is hitting -7%, and Boney is hitting -66%. The best hitting percentage so far is Hartman, who is hitting 58% with 7 kills and 9 points. Boney has 13 assists so far, and Skelton is leading the way with 28 digs. Berlin has 20, and Smith has 36 assists, which is way more than anybody else on the Henderson State team has. It's almost double that. In fact, it is double that. Jackson on the court. Jackson brings the lead back within 1. Bolf comes in, as well as number 12, Delaney Price. SNU trying to escape set 3. Smith gives it to Terang, met at the net. Smith back to Terang. Dug up by Skelton. Big opportunity for the Reddies. Miscommunication, and now we're tied up at 23.
Close game.
That was
close
a
set.
Big-time point for the Reddies.
Yes, it was.
And now timeout by Kevin Ingram, who is unhappy. We'll take a break and have the end of the third set on SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Crimson Storm and the Reddies tied up at 23 apiece. First one to get 2 points ahead of the other one. Thomas in the middle, and the referee called it on the floor, but there's no doubt about that one. Initially, the side judge on the SNU side called it down.
I thought it was on the ground myself, John.
But they called it straight on, but then Bailey Terang made no doubt. Bailey Terang got another kill. That's her 18th. Set point for the Storm. Balf with a big-time attack. Smith just hits it over. Balf again. Dug up by Terang. Hunter kind of shoots it over like a basketball. Balf back to Terang. Smith to Terang. Blocked at the net. We're going to more points.
24-24. It's going to stay close. They're not wanting to go anywhere, are they?
Well, it's going to be green. Ellis digs it up first. Goes to Terang on the court. Bailey Terang trying her darndest to end the set. Smith back to serve for set point number 2 for the Crimson Storm. Dug up by Berlin. SNU has a chance, but they just give it right back over. They're going to work through Balf again. Berlin. Smith's just going to tap it over. And that one worked through number 4, Adriana Hartman. Ties it back up at 25. SNU has been unable to get aggressive in the set points in this set. Sets up. Terang just pushes it over. Free ball, big opportunity. Hartman. Terang, and now another free ball for the Reddies. Hartman. Hit off the hands of Terang and Hunter, and now SNU finds themselves down, and Henderson State finds themselves with a set point opportunity. And Terang mishandles the dig, and Henderson State is fired up. They now take a 2-1 set advantage. So now SNU is facing down a must-win set 4. When we come back to SNUathletics.com, we'll have that set 4 when we come back. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Crimson Storm now find themselves in a must-win set 4. Henderson State's Boney is going to set to begin with, and Smith just going to have to push that one back over. Ellis back to Smith. Thomas on the court. Thomas coming right back, showing she hasn't missed a step as Hunter checks back in for Berlin. And we're off again. Hartman, dug up by Davis. Smith just tries to snipe the corner. She can't quite do it. And an ace for Balf, who finds the ground before Ellis can get there. Takes the 2-1 lead over the Crimson Storm. Ellis back to Smith. Hunter on the court. Hunter gets another kill.
But these sets have been so close, each and every one of them. So close.
Smith to serve. Balf digs it up to Boney. Jackson is going to get another kill. Green back to serve now. Henderson playing with all the momentum. Davis just slaps it over. Blocked at the net by Hunter all by her lonesome. Jackson off the hands of Ellis, who was having a difficult time controlling the attacks from the Reddies. Setting up Hunter.